Welcome, Solarah here. I hope you guys are doing well today. I'm here to do a reading for you. First and foremost, I want to welcome you here if you're visiting for the first time. Welcome if you are returning, if you are true supporters of my work and my voice. I really do appreciate all the way you guys have assisted in my rise. And I'm not even talking about, being on a platform. I'm talking about internally, because that's what Ascension is about. We are here to help one another ascend and rise. And I hope that my work and my words do that for all of you, because we're at a critical juncture. We've been doing the internal work of wanting to break ourselves free of so much, and now we're about to step into the materialization of all of that. So I want to do a quick reading. I'm smiling because y'all know quick for me is it's an interesting term to apply to some of my readings, but relatively quick, let's say, relatively quick for me is under an hour. Okay, so I want to keep it about under an hour today, but I want to really kind of like dive into the cards and go with the flow. The energy has loosened up quite a bit. I would say in the aftermath of the full moon, but more importantly with the sun moving into Leo and that Mars energy that got shit moving last week in very, very powerful ways, and is still getting shit moving. And the Leo, the sun in Leo is lighting shit up all the more also. So yeah, there's a lot cooking right now. So anyway, I'm not for everyone, so if you don't like my style, you don't like how I integrate my information with stories and anecdotes, you can respectfully fuck off. I don't care. I don't need you to put it in the comments. I'm just going to put it out there because that's where we are. There's a lot of narcissism that is flying in these here streets because, truth be told, the entirety of the false matrix was based upon narcissistic templates, and people are losing their minds right now looking to get supply. So I won't have time for that. You ain't gonna come anywhere around me and try to demand me to be something to you that you should be getting for yourself. Okay, if you don't like me, that's fine. I don't need you to like me, but I don't need you to articulate that either. That's rude, and that's an attempt to harvest, and don't nobody got time for that. I'll call you out on it because you're not going to have my energy in that way. Okay, so anyway, it has to be said. And I say it and I demonstrate it also a lot of the times during these times when energy gets cray-cray, because I hope that it inspires y'all to do the same thing, to put up your boundaries. And it's important to articulate it sometimes because it makes it very clear where you stand. Your words can't be minced. Your voice holds your frequency. When you articulate something with power, you're stating where you stand. And there is power in that to shift things energetically for you. So please know that in this time, because right now, the power games, the power struggles, they're real. They're very real. There's a lot of beauty that's coming forth, and whenever there's beauty, there's always going to be resistance to that, okay? And one analogy that I was picking up on a lot earlier on, and I think I shared it with somebody when I was going through my emails, is for many people right now, yeah, I did. For many people right now, we are like the destruction crew, the ones who are coming to tear down the building that has been in their community forever and they don't want to see go, but it's dilapidated, it's gone, it has to come down. This isn't like a gentrification, we just want to build new condos. No, this is like the building is a danger unto itself and it needs to come down. And we're that destruction crew coming in to, destroy the building. And then there are beings who are not wanting to leave. And it's just like, if you don't leave this building, whether we take it down or not, it's going to fall down on top of you. So you come in as the crew, and they naturally despise you. They don't even need to know who you are. All they need to know is that you're showing up to take something from them that they're attached to. Attachment being the main word, because a person who is really secure in themselves doesn't need to hold on to external things in order to find a sense of value or meaning. Yeah, it's sad to let things go, but it's a part of life. We're not here to get attached to anything on this earth, and that's been our downfall. That's been our source of so much suffering. That's why the false matrix wanted to create these mentalities where we're constantly hoarding and buying and consuming and building, and never really relinquishing and experiencing in order, letting things go in order for new things to come. At a certain point, they want you so stuck in a situation that you're not able to evolve. Right? The way we live hasn't been normal. Like even the way we live in houses and blocks and apartments, it's not normal. Those are energetically designed to stagnate energy. Okay, so that was like the analogy that was coming up. For many of you, people, the minute you walk into the building, you enter into the chat, people are like, wow, they're on you. And it's an unconscious thing a lot of the time, but it's because you've arrived now. Given enough time for everyone to move out, get their stuff, make their arrangements, it's time for the building to come down. And I was sharing in a group a few weeks ago, I said, some of y'all, the reason why you have so many things that are constantly coming against you, you get your head above water only for another attack to come. It's because you literally are the people who've been sent into this false matrix to turn the lights out. You know how there's that person who, like, especially when you were in school and everyone would get in line, and the person at the end of the line, they were the ones who had to turn the lights off and close the door, the last person in line. Or if you worked in an office or you worked in a retail space and you were closing down the shop at the end of the night, you'd have to do all of the closing down things. Some of y'all are closing downers, and this is why you're still going through the situations you're going through, because you have to alchemize the closing, shutting down energies. So don't ever look at what anyone else is doing and compare and think because someone else may have moved further, quote unquote, than you, that it's because they're ahead of you in some way. We all have our own purpose in shutting this bitch down, okay? And for as long as you are walking in accordance with your divine truth, you are exactly where you need to be. And once this whole thing is shut down, you will be taken to where you need to go. That whole statement, the last will be first and the first will be last. That thing is becoming more and more real right now. Okay, so there's my quick, not so quick intro, but anyway. Before I get into the reading, just a quick reminder, I'm recording this on Wednesday, the 24th of July, and tomorrow, Thursday, the 25th of July, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. UK time, I'm hosting another group check-in session with live card pull and personal guidance. So please, if you feel like you need support in this time, join us. It's always a good time. It's the intentions I set so far have allowed for the space to always be secure and safe, and for us to have the ability to come together and activate one another, and to feel like we're not alone for another thing, but also to get the guidance we need moving forward, or the confirmation we need at this time. And I chose to do it Thursday this week because tomorrow is the last 7/7 portal of this month, and I noticed that there had been a lot of increase in craziness in the last two 7/7 portals, and I wanted to make sure that there was that support. I know somebody had asked in the comments when I mentioned that very briefly in I think the reading before the last one, they asked, well, what can we do? The most important thing you can do in any situation when you're under attack is ground yourself in your energy. Your highest form of protection is being in yourself. And this is why everything in the false matrix was designed to take you out of self. It doesn't matter how far you are on your journey, when you choose to anchor and ground into who you are at that point, what is trying to come for you, it can't touch you. It can rattle you a little bit, and then you have to fight, in order to maintain your sense of equilibrium by going against the thoughts and the feelings that are being thrown at you to pull you down back into the lie. But your best protection is to stand grounded in who you are and your truth, always, okay? And I shared this a few months ago. There were times, even recently, especially recently, because, one day I'm going to share with you some of the stuff that's been going on, but where I literally am curled up in the fetal position, just claiming over myself who I am, because those psychic attack energies, those spells to try to get you to succumb to a story that opens you up for energy harvesting, that opens you up to take on a false persona where you're devalued, where you're less than who you are divinely. Those energies, they come in like a flood sometimes. So the strongest thing you can do is, in those moments when everything is trying to lie to you and convince you you're something you're not, is to combat it with truth. Because the minute you start to spit truth back at those energies, they have to go, because they can't handle living in that frequency. They are, all the energies of the false matrix, they can't support or stay alive in truth. They are founded upon deception and keeping beings in self-deception and false places where they shouldn't be, that deception promotes and grows. So the minute you come at those energies with truth, and the truth is sometimes just very, very plain. The truth is, I'm an infinite being. There's nothing that you can throw at me or can come into my fields that I don't have the power to fight against. Okay, I am a child of the Most High. I am created in the image of my mother and my father God. In which case, no insult or anything you try to throw at me to try to bring me into a state of shame, guilt, or fear is able to stick. In fact, you're out of bounds. You're out of order. So scram. I know who I am, and I know who you're not. Okay, so I wanted to share that I keep on hearing this song over the past 24 hours, and my kids were just making fun of me. My son said to me, I think he said something like, tell me that you were born in the 80s without telling me you were born in the 80s, right? So, making fun of my age or whatever. So, but the song is Burning Down the House, and I think it was originally written and performed by the Talking Heads. The end of the 90s, Tom Jones and the Cardigans made it popular again here in the UK, and my favorite version of it is one that was recorded by John Legend before he became John Legend, when he was John Stevens. His live album at SOBs in New York, Sounds of Brazil. He has a really great version of it, and so I was getting my boogie on just now, and my kids were thoroughly laughing at me, which is wonderful, because this is the energy we should be in right now, okay? In spite of everything happening, we've got to tune into those joyful moments. We've got to create and co-create those joyful moments, because that's what is taking us out of this bitch, is our joy. That's your ticket out. It's your joy. Okay? And Leo season, the sun just entered into Leo. Leo energy is here to reconnect you to your joy. It's here to reconnect you to your true heart. Okay? And your true heart will always lead you into what promotes your joy, your peace, your bliss, your divine truth. Okay? So this is why they like to harm you as children, to kill your spirit, so that you allow your heart to be weighed down and take you off path into other places where they can fuck with you. When your heart is heavy, you lead yourself into heaviness. You lead yourself into spaces where you can be taken advantage of energetically. That's where they wanted you in the false matrix. So find your way back to joy. No matter what your circumstances are, there's always a way, because you're an alchemist. You can always, even sometimes in some of the heaviest moments when I wasn't able to produce joy materially, in the sense that I didn't have the energy to get up and dance. I didn't have the energy, to laugh at a joke, I would close my eyes and I would use my memory to tune in to old memories and the feeling. Like I would remember a moment where I would look at my children and all of a sudden my heart would swell. I would think on that moment. I would meditate just on that moment. I would shut everything out and meditate on that moment, and my heart frequency would rise enough for me to go forward and do what I have to do. It's really time for us to remember how we work electromagnetically. We, in terms of how we feel, we're never actually stuck. We always have the tools to shift our emotions. Now, it takes conscious and conscientious effort. It takes work, but it's possible. And we shouldn't quit until we're back in our own energy. So like one practice I'll do quite often with my children when I see things trying to bring them down, and they are, both my kids are, I have one teenager and one preteen, right? So they're at that phase where everything in life is, emotionally, it's like the repeat of the toddler establishing of your ego. So everything is difficult emotionally. And so I will ask them, like when they're stuck, you know how sometimes people get stuck, we get stuck emotionally, and it's like we're so upset that we can't talk, we can't move, and all we can do is look at people like this. And they're trying their best to reason with us, and all we can do is look at them. When people are like that, when you get like that, it's rigid. You're rigid. Your energy field, you're stuck. Okay? So a lot of the time, you ask people in that position, especially if they're very stubborn, right? You ask them, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. And so a lot of the time I'm like, okay, you're fine. Okay, you're fine. So let me ask you a question, since you're fine. If you had to feel this way for the rest of your life, since you're so fine, if you had to feel this way for the rest of your life, would that be okay? And oftentimes they'll think about it and they'll be like, no, they'll be honest, no, it wouldn't be okay. And then I say, well, if you continue to court this energy, if you allow it to stick with you past its expiration, you will be creating from this point, and you therefore will be drawing in more things that make you feel this way on a permanent basis, right? So therefore, it's your personal responsibility to try to process this. I'm never going to say, snap out of it, because that's not helpful. If people could snap out of it, they would. But I will say, be aware so that you can experience it, but not stay in it longer than you have to, or feel like you can't rise out of it, because we can. There are always things we can do to shift the energy of a moment, and once we begin to shift the energy of the moment, we can create a new momentum that takes us away from what created that situation to begin with. Okay, so right now we're really learning how to pivot, emotionally speaking, and to use our own gifts, resources, to learn how to maintain our frequency. Okay, so I kept on hearing that song, Burning Down the House. I pulled up the lyrics. I'll tell you, and then I'm going to pull some cards and see what's going to come out. So I'm going to read to you quickly what it says. Watch out, you might get what you're after. Cool baby, strange but not a stranger. I'm an ordinary guy, burning down the house. Hold tight. Wait till the party's over. Hold tight. We're in for nasty weather. 300, there has got to be a way. Burning down the house. Okay, so I think you get the point. Oh wait, this is my one part that kept on sticking out too. Here's your ticket, pack your bag. It's time for jumping overboard. The transportation is here. Close enough, but not too far. Maybe you know where you are. Fighting fire with fire. Okay, so already you're seeing like this is about being on the edge of something. It's time to go. It's time to go. It's time to leave the burning building. The building's about to come down. Okay, so, and everything is ready for you to move forward on out of it. The transportation is here. Here's your ticket. It's here. You might not see it yet. You might not have it in your hand yet, but it's here. Pack your bag, get ready, move right now as if you're moving forward in whatever situation you're in. You know, it's time for jumping overboard. In other words, and this is for some of you, this is going to be physical. Like, it's time for you to move and leave a situation. Like, some of you know what's going on with me. But for most of us, this is speaking energetically. For many of us, I should say, not most of us, many of us, this is speaking energetically, preparing yourself now to move out of this craziness. Okay? And that fighting fire with fire was really coming up for me in big ways, because this is what we're doing right now. We're in Leo season. We just have come off that powerful Mars-Uranus conjunction that really lit some fire under all our asses, purposely, because it's time. And so right now we're fighting fire with fire. Like I said in the beginning, you know, that energy of beings wanting to insert themselves into your reality, or to pull you out of your frequency right now. It's so real, in different ways, in subtle ways, in small ways. It doesn't matter how small it is, how big it is, how covert it is, how overt it is. It really doesn't matter at this point. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable, because nobody is your God except for Source themselves. And you are literally God over your own energy field, and you have the right to be, especially when you are connected to Source. So how dare anyone try to trespass onto your land and tell you how to be yourself, or how to move, or how to do what it is that you alone know how to do. Fuck that. Okay? Fuck it. So, where shall we go? I think I want to go into the star codes. I think that's where I'm being called right now. Let's see what's going on here. Burning down the house. Burning down the house. Another message that was coming through is how many of you were sent back into situations, very specifically, as demolition people, as tools for destruction, tools for transformation. That's what I'm going to say. You were sent in to be tools for transformation, and transformation can either destroy or it can bring back to life, and it's all dependent on how we use that energy. So all of this death magic that they've been using towards us has actually been what has been waking us up. But if we succumb to what it is they want for us with the death magic, then actually we get more trapped, right? But if we learn who we are and we fight against the death magic with the truth, then we rise and we transform. We rise up like the phoenix, and we can look down on that energy that's trying to pull us down and be like, see you later, motherfucker, see you later. Not the one to mess with anymore. You know, so many of you were sent into certain situations, your workplace, your families from the beginning. You're sent into situations to be tools of transformation, to give beings the opportunity to ascend, to give them the opportunity to heal, and a lot of the time, like I was saying to you in the beginning, with that energy of, walking, you're walking demolition people, and when you arrive on the site to take down the building that people are attached to, they automatically will attack you. Right? Instead of seeing you as being someone who's here to protect them and to bring them into safety, they want to hold on to the very thing that's about to destroy them and come down on their heads. Okay? So, some of you are those tools of transformation that were misused. And instead of taking the healing energy that you came to provide, a lot of the time by being a mirror, for one thing, that energy was thrown back on you, and to pull you down instead of them alchemizing their own energy and transforming and rising. And now that you're giving it all back, and they still don't want to alchemize it, it's literally burning down their own house. And for some of you, it's like to the point where every single time someone tries to do something to you right now, even if it has a little bit of an effect, of what it is they want to do, meaning that even if it rattles you, it's not the time to do that. It's just not the time, because what's happening is every time they try to put on you the responsibility that is supposed to be on them, or they maliciously cast spells on you, they're bringing in your timeline for departure faster. They're opening more doors for you. That's ultimately what's happening, because once upon a time, that energy would intimidate you back, and this is what they're relying on, for you to be pulled back into the old cycle because it used to work. But now, because you are alchemizing and you know how to counter that with the truth and to know how to use your energy to pivot, it no longer is snatching you back, it's pushing you forward very rapidly, which again is bringing down the building faster. So literally that burning down the house, it's like that burning down, they're burning down their own houses right now. Trying to throw fire at you. So you're fighting fire with fire now, like that song said. Once upon a time, you weren't fighting fire with fire. You may have been just throwing water. You may have just been sitting there and letting yourself burn. And now you're just like, wait a minute, I got a flame too. And my flame is not just natural fire. I got supernatural fire to fight with your weak fire that you're using from your ego, that you're using from stealing from other people, including myself. So come, bring it on. Bring it on. Let me see your little matches. Let me see your little flame. Come on, let me see it. I'm seeing that. Is it in Hercules where there's a cartoon where someone comes at them with a flame and they just blow it out? Or maybe it's Beauty and the Beast, and he blows out Lumiere's candle. He's just like, and the candle goes out. That's kind of like the energy. It's like they come in with their little candle, and meanwhile you're a whole burning bush, and it's just like, really, you really want to do this right now? You sure? You sure you want to go there with? Okay, let's go there. Let's go there. Let's go there. Because by the time this is over, I'm going to take the fire that you tried to use to destroy me to grow mine. That's what's happening. Your fire is growing. You're fighting fire with fire. They're coming at you and they think that they are doing something with their fire, but you're fighting fire with fire. And understand and overstand, this is not a warring energy in the sense of trying to harm anyone. This is a warring energy in the sense of alchemizing fields and putting things back to where they're supposed to be, because it's time. This isn't a pointing the finger, he said, she said, they, I'm better. It's not any of that. It's not that at all. There is a place for everyone, and we must now find it. And beings who are trying to pull you out of your ability to do that are going to have harsh lessons, not because of what they're doing to you, but because of what they're doing to themselves. They're doing it to themselves because in trying to pull you out of your position of rising into your truth, they're doing it because they cannot confront their own ability to do the same. And so they don't want you moving ahead. But that's not going to work. So it's not a personal thing, you're raining judgment on them and yada, yada, yada. They're bringing judgment upon themselves. And you are the tool that has been sent to do that, in the same way that they are the tool that you've used to remove yourself from the harsh judgment that you were under, you put yourself under, or you allowed yourself to be under when you were walking blindly and living below your value, and therefore constantly being harvested. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so Juno, partnership. Juno is she not Jupiter's wife? Juno, I believe so. Juno, you might want to take a look at where your Juno is in your chart. I don't know too much about Juno as an, I think she's an asteroid. I don't know too much about Juno, and I don't have the book with me, but just this card of partnership, this is speaking to me about how as a group we are coming back into alignment together. The quantum entanglement strategies that were used to keep those of us who carry similar frequencies apart no longer work. Okay, so divinely speaking, those of us who carry the same frequency, we're supposed to be energetically connected, Okay, and that's for all frequential groups. And what they did in the false matrix was by purposely, through how we incarnated into this planet in certain bloodlines, and then through the programming and the way we were literally programmed against ourselves, it created a schism where when we cannot connect with ourselves, we cannot connect with those who carry the same frequency, because we're all living now out of bounds. So what we've been doing as we're healing is we're rising back into our true frequency, and as we rise back into our true frequency, we're calling in beings who match that now too. So you're always calling in things in accordance with the frequency you're holding, but before you were holding a frequency that was foreign to your truth, and you were holding that because you were constantly being ashamed, blamed, programmed into that state, and you accepted those cues as being real. So you allowed yourself to be programmed, because nobody can actually program you without your consent. Okay, so now as you heal and you rise into your truth, your frequency is coming back into alignment with who you are. Your heart is sending that out. That's what Leo season's about. It's about aligning your heart now higher into your truth, based upon how you utilize the alchemy and medicine of Cancer season, especially in all of the seasons before, to get you to a place of being so real about who you are. The good, the bad, the ugly, everything you must face, and you must love, and you must accept, and you must hold with the weight of knowing it's all a part of you, because you can't be whole while you are rejecting any part of your truth. Okay, so as you come into that place of wholeness, that's the Sun card in the tarot, right? As you come into that place of wholeness, you are able to reconnect with other beings who are in wholeness too, who carry that frequency. Or you're able to connect with other beings who might not fully be in their wholeness. Maybe their wholeness requires a different frequency, but that's their present home frequency as they heal. And you're able to call in fellowship with them to help you rise also. You know, so that's a lot of what's been going on over Ascension. Like, there was a time where people would come to me and be like, I thought I found someone who was in my soul tribe, and we got on so well, and yada yada yada, and then things got weird. Yeah, because we were all learning how to climb back into our home frequency. And while you may have connected with that person at a certain point, you started to shift frequencies, because it was time for you to ascend all the way higher into who you are. It was time for them to ascend higher into who they are. And in your higher state, your frequencies don't match. And this is why, again, it has nothing to do with someone being good or someone being bad. It's all about the lessons and how you're able to evolve based upon the wisdom you're able to glean, accrue, and put into actual literal practice, in accordance also with your purpose. We're all here doing different things. We all have a different purpose. We're all part of this glorious puzzle or tapestry that when we come together, it's like a picture of such crazy divine beauty. But in and of itself, everyone must play their own part, and they must play their own part to perfection. You know, and I'm not saying perfection like to be perfect, but I'm talking about being so authentically you is what creates the wholeness of the picture of the planet that allows it to come back into harmony, which is why at every turn in the false matrix, they wanted you following programs that went against your truth, following people that will pull you into situations where you go against your truth, because for as long as that was happening, you were creating inner schism, and as long as those inner schisms were happening, you weren't able to align with other beings and hold your frequency on the planet as a group. And as long as that wasn't happening, then every single beautiful group that exists in a different frequential pocket wasn't able to come into alignment to create the wholeness of sound, the one song universe, one song that's supposed to reverberate as a frequency on this earth, when we're all living in accordance authentically with who we are, and walking in accordance with those who help us to maintain that truth. Okay, so I say that, and Virgo is at the bottom here, digest. Okay, so Virgo is, where Mercury is in Virgo right now, and getting ready to retrograde in about a week and a half. And Venus might be in Virgo already. I think so. So Mercury and Venus are already moving ahead into Virgo, like already helping us to tune into the energies that are coming next season when the Sun enters into Virgo. And then then Mercury will begin to retrograde and we'll come back into Leo, and then we'll station direct and go back through the closing degrees of Leo and Virgo, and go back through Virgo again. So retracing steps. That's what Mercury's doing to help us get clear where our hearts are in alignment, so that through Virgo we can liberate. Virgo is the sign that speaks of liberation. It's the Hermit card. The Hermit isn't just about getting alone for the sake of ascension, or for the sake of separating yourself from groups. The Hermit is about getting yourself alone to tune into your unique frequency, because it's only when you tune into your unique frequency apart from everyone else that you can get back on the wheel of fortune, which is your true cycles. You can get back on your true cycles, and you're not stuck living in lower timelines, going through lower cycles that you've already graduated from, and therefore create suffering for you. You see, what creates suffering for you might not create suffering for another being, because your purpose is different. The lessons that you've learned and you've graduated from are different. This is why some of you were in these karmic family groups, and from the beginning you were suffering, and they weren't, not only because of the bullying and the abuse, but because the way that they were living was fine to them, because they haven't had those soul lessons yet to take them to a higher frequency where that kind of energy bothers them. In this matrix, we call beings like you and I highly sensitive people. We're not necessarily just highly sensitive people. We're highly evolved beings who are able to tune into things that are out of balance and out of frequential alignment, because we've already graduated from learning those lessons. We can't abide in energies that we've already graduated from and not suffer. So beings who are able to be in certain situations and they don't appear to be suffering, and maybe they are internally, sometimes it's because they're still in that phase of learning a lesson through that energy. And so it's not going to cause them suffering until they keep on keeping themselves stuck and having to repeat the lesson. Think about it like if you started school and you're in 6th grade, which I think you're like age 11. You're 11, 6th grade. You get into middle school, and you keep on failing middle school. Keep on failing. You watch your friends every year from that 6th grade class go on until they're 18 and they graduated, and you're 18 years old sitting in the classroom with 6th graders, other 11-year-olds, and they're about to surpass you too. Wouldn't that make you miserable as fuck? Right? But if you were sitting, let me think about this. But the 11-year-olds sitting in that classroom, it doesn't make them miserable because they're just arriving, right? So they're ready, excited for the year ahead. And you've done this about 6 years in a row, and you're sitting with 11-year-olds that you shouldn't be in the class with. You get what I'm saying? So everyone frequentially, it's kind of like that. So this is why we also shouldn't ever compare ourselves to other beings, because we're all in different stages, different cycles, different classrooms, and the false matrix wanted you comparing yourself, because whenever you compare yourself, you naturally will lower your own frequency and stay in the cycle of suffering. Okay, so this message here with the Juno and the partnership is that because the wholeness, you're coming back into the wholeness of yourself, you're energetically connecting with more beings that are carrying the same frequency as you. And a really beautiful example of this is that 2 beautiful souls on 2 different occasions this week have reached out to me to share with me different videos that have come up that they thought I might enjoy, right? And one of those people When they shared these videos with me, I literally was already watching one of them as the message came through, which was hilarious because she was watching it and thinking about me. I'm watching it at the same time. The same thing occurred today. Another beautiful soul reached out to me, DM'd me, and sent me something right when I had opened my email and seen the same thing she was sending coming through, and had put it on my list to listen to for the day. You'll find that more and more as you align with beings who have a similar heart frequency, that your thoughts are in alignment. The things that you're tuning into are going to be in alignment. And I'm talking about, this isn't just like, oh, it just so happens we're tuned into the same thing, like we like these videos. No, I'm talking about, I'm watching these things as you're sending me the message. So something's happening in terms of time. Something's happening in terms of how we're connecting. What once upon a time kept us from being able to connect in that way, because here's the truth. We are telepathic beings. We don't need phones, we don't need computers, we don't need any of these things to communicate a message to one another, right? But first and foremost, we've forgotten how to do that. And second of all, the energetic fuckery of the false matrix put up blocks energetically to make sure that that wouldn't happen. In fact, I would venture to say that a lot of the shit they do now, and you know what I'm talking about with the skies especially, because that's air energy, communication, tower blocks, you know, mobile technology, 5 to the G, all of that stuff, I would say it's less about, people are so focused on the radiation, right? And the problem it's causing health. We can take radiation. We can take more than you would believe, right? I'm not saying it's healthy. I'm not saying that there aren't sicknesses that result from that. But I'm saying as natural organic beings who are here to evolve no matter what the circumstances are on this planet, we actually are able, using our minds, to rise above that. Now, many of us don't know how to do that because we don't know how to heal ourselves yet with our minds. But again, I'm going to tell you, as a divine being, there is nothing that can enter into your fields, personally or environmentally, that you don't have the solution for. And another beautiful soul broke down that word solution for me the other day, and I forget what the definition is, but look up the suffix "ocean," because it will show you. You always have the soul, sun, soul, your soul, ocean. You always have the solution for everything that comes into your fields. Okay, everything. What has stopped us so far from being able to act on that is the knowing of that and the acting upon that wisdom. Okay, because remember, you're an electromagnetic being, so whatever you believe is what you become. You want to believe that something's bigger than you, then it will be bigger than you, and you would have made it bigger than you with your own energy, because that's how fucking powerful you are. Okay, so all of that, 5 to the G stuff and radiation and all of that, the bigger threat or the bigger thing that they've actually been trying to do is to interrupt the telepathy coming back on board. That's really what they're trying to stop. The illnesses are just a side effect, because these fuckers don't give a fuck who has to die in their little game to keep control. They don't give a fuck. So if people die along the way, so what? They already think that the planet is overpopulated, so they don't care. The purpose is to try to stop us from telepathically connecting, because once we do, their fake little web, their fake webs that have kept their lies going, including the one that the interwebs is based upon, is coming down, and the true web networking that connects us all with our minds. In terms of how we use our electromagnetic settings and our frequencies, we can connect very easily telepathically with those who we are frequentially aligned with, who we have the same heart frequency with. We can speak, we can connect with them telepathically that way. It means that, in other words, you're not running around connecting with everyone telepathically. You're connecting specifically with those who carry the same heart frequency. It's why so many of us, when we were on the twin flame journey, there were times where we could connect with them telepathically. because they were people who either they had the same frequency as us at the time, or they were from the same frequential group. And so there were times where you could telepathically link with them. When you no longer have all of the obstacles environmentally, and you remember who you are and how to do this, you will be able to connect with those who carry the same heart frequency with you telepathically without an issue. Okay, so right now we're fighting fire with fire. We're also fighting fire with fire by coming together. And there's been a lot of schisms within the spiritual community also that have been designed to keep us in fear of one another because of the harvesting, right? We don't want to come together. And there was a time where that was true and it was real, because for as long as we were still trying to come deeper into our own energy, we were still more susceptible to influence and to beings pulling us into their agendas, right? So we were right to be very aware and cautious. But as you rise into your power and you establish who you are and you know how to hold yourself in these battles, the next thing to do is to start showing up with other beings who are doing the same. Because when you do that, you begin to break spells even more powerfully together. Okay? Just by being together. You start to activate the fuck out of one another just by being together. Okay? So, and this is what they don't want to do. This is why they also want people coming together in their fake false light gatherings, and that are really designed to continually, get people to feel a certain way, but not really rise into holding what it is they access. Because then they can take you down and harvest, but that's a whole other thing, okay? So, coming together, okay. 365 degrees, we're burning down the house. Transportation is here. What is taking you out of these old cycles? It's here. It's here. Your transportation, your way out is here. And if that is resonating with you and you feel it, hold on to that feeling, because it's a feeling and the knowing of that's taking you out. It's not going to happen. It's not going to just show up because I said it. It's going to show up the more that you know it to be the case. Because right now, we are at this critical juncture where we must learn how to wield our power to bring in the new cycle. The new cycle will not come in until we're ready to bring it in by utilizing our own thoughts and feelings to shift ourselves into the situation we need to be in, and into the alignment we need to be in to bring it in. And please understand and overstand also, this was another message that was coming in. Not everyone who speaks about conscious creation or manifestation does so from the point of wanting to be in their highest divine truth. Not everyone who speaks about conscious creation and manifestation is doing so from a place of wanting themselves to be in their highest divine truth, or wanting you to be in your highest divine truth. Please get that anyone can manifest if they're able to tune into a frequency and hold that frequency to call something in. But that's different from fine-tuning your energy into who it is you are that naturally calls in everything that brings you joy. So there are things that you can pull in by manipulating energy. You can tune into feelings, tune into emotions, pull things in. And when you pull those things in, oftentimes they won't satisfy you because they're not in alignment with your joy. They're not in alignment with your soul. They are things that you thought you wanted, and now you get them, you enjoy it for a moment, and then you realize, wait a minute, why was it that I wanted it? Oh, because again, it was a program that told me that this was what was going to make me happy. So when you focus less on manifesting things to come towards you, and you focus more on tuning your frequency into righteous alignment with who you are, everything you begin to magnetize begins to match your soul's purpose and truth. And your soul, truth be told, wants you living in states of bliss, joy, love, and harmony, which is why it will only introduce suffering into your reality when you've gone off course. Haha, 50 minutes in. Let me get some tarot and be done with this. I'm going to do a 4-card spread. I'm letting the cards just drop face down. Still have not turned them over, except for the bottom. We have Temperance, Sagittarius. The two liberators of the zodiac wheel are Virgo and Sagittarius. Those are the two liberators on the zodiac wheel. Okay? Virgo liberates you into being able to be who you are wholly. Sagittarius liberates you into the ability to walk that shit in real time on earth as it is in the heavens. Okay? Overarching theme, Ace of Swords, breakthrough. Breakthrough. This is also what I was talking about before. The airwaves and how they stop your telepathy. Ace of Swords is air. Something's about to break. Something's about to break their control of the airwaves too. Challenge, the Hermit in the challenge position. This is Virgo. It's time for you to be liberated, but it's time for us to come partnership. It's time for us to start to come together and to combine and grow this energy. That's what's going to bust this shit wide open. Okay, this is what we need to be focusing on. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is what we need to be paying the most attention to and focusing on right now. 7 of Wands. This is the 3rd decan of Leo. So right now we are in the 5 of Wands. Okay? 7 of Wands is when you've gotten your liberation and you're busting free, and now you've got to protect your borders. That's the 7 of Wands. You've got to protect your borders by fighting to hold what it is you've been given. So in the tarot, the 3 cards that represent Leo energy are the 5 of Wands, 0 to 9 degrees of Leo, the 6 of Wands, 10 to 19 degrees of Leo, and 7 of Wands, 20 to 29 degrees Leo. The 6 of Wands energy is where the 8-8 portal falls. Okay? The 8-8 portal falls normally, I want to say, around 15, 16, 17 degrees of Leo, depending on the year. This year it will probably be 16 degrees of Leo, okay? Because the new moon is happening on the 4th at 12 degrees. So 8-8 is probably 16. So you want to talk about burning down the house? That's the Tower card energy in the tarot, okay? So the 8-8 portal is happening that. So so after the 6 of Wands, which is your codes, you get your galactic light codes. A lot of your solar codes that replenish you for your year ahead, they come through the 8-8 portal. And every birthday you have, your birthday portal gives you your individual solar codes that align with who you are in general, not just your year, in accordance with how high you've ascended and what you're ready to get back. Which is why every year they want you doing things on your solar return that have nothing to do with tuning into your frequency. They want you to be surrounded by people who really don't like you, but are singing happy birthday, ha ha ha, ki ki ki. And then running away and talking shit in your face, and then you're psychically attacked on your birthday when you're supposed to be fucking clear in your own energy to receive. On your solar return, solar energy returns, how you get replenished. The 8-8 portal is how we get replenished also as a collective. And this is why they want you, I've talked about this before, in the energy harvesting calendars of the false matrix. They want you open inside the dog days of summer, You know, August is always one of the easiest months of the year because they want you relaxed and open. Okay? And then once Virgo season comes on, they get their grip on you, and everything, you know, speeds up, and there's more stress at work, and children go back to school, and everything's designed to make you stressed, because stress constricts your energy and it causes you to give shit out. These people were masterful in how they fucked with us. So what you need to be focusing on is the Seven of Wands, protecting your borders, fighting fire with fire. If ever there was a card that's about fighting fire with fire, it's the fucking Seven of Wands. And the Seven of Wands, not for nothing, 7 is connected to the Chariot. Okay, so 7 and divine order is also very connected to Saturn, bringing forth divine order, restrictions, setting them boundaries that need to be set against beings who don't know how to respect your energy, your value, who you are divinely. Beings who respect who you are divinely don't try to come in and take, or don't try to come in and change you. They come in and they enjoy you as you are, period. Period. Okay? 7 of Wands, fighting fire with fire. Connected to the Chariot. Chariot, of course, is Cancerian energy. Cancer leads us back to our heart, and Leo activates the fuck out of it. Okay? Cancer energy is also how we learn to use our emotions to wield our chariots, our light body, to get us ahead. How we use both our light and our dark to go where we need to go. Which is why on the Chariot card you have the Black Sphinx and the White Sphinx. You must learn how to alchemize both your dark and your light energies in order to properly enforce your boundaries. This is why the love and light community actually leaves you open to energy harvesting. You can't love and light everything. You can't. And while love and light is a beautiful thing to rise into and to live from that place, in order to get there, you must learn how to wield your darkness. Your darkness is a cover for your light, to help protect your light. It's your protector. And the Cancer Chariot energy shows you how to wield the power of your dark and your light to move your chariot forward. If the White Sphinx goes in this direction, the Black Sphinx goes in that direction, then you're off track. You need them together, going in the same direction, same trajectory, same vision. So people who choose the right-hand path or the left-hand path are choosing schisms within themselves. You must bring both paths together and integrate them within yourself if you want to be whole. And I'm not talking about the principles of those paths, because we don't follow other people's teachings. We follow our own divine blueprints. Guidance. 10 of fucking coins. Virgo energy. Beautiful. This is, and you know what the beautiful thing about this is? The 10 of coins is the final card of manifestation in the tarot. It's the place where you begin the journey to arrive. So in the tarot, the major arcana speaks of divinely appointed lessons and wisdom you must get over. But the minor arcana cards speak of all of the daily things and challenges and rewards that you have to go through in order to get from the Ace of Wands, which begins the obstacle course, all the way to the 10 of Pentacles, where you actually bring forth true value, riches, quote unquote, and legacy that can be sustained on the earth. So the guidance is to be very grounded in your value and in the true legacy you've come to bring back onto the earth planes. Because as I've said before, what we've been calling legacy in this false matrix is not divine legacy. Their buildings, their accolades, all this other shit it's going to mean nothing very soon. You know, and very soon is completely, you know, not like this year or whatever. It might not even be in our lifetimes, but there will come a time when everything that they thought was important and was legacy will be of complete insignificance, because the truth is it never really was. Because anything that you have to accomplish or accrue by hurting other living beings, taking from them, leaving them with less than what it is that they need to be able to survive, is not a real fucking legacy. That's not a real legacy. So the Ten of Pentacles, remembering who we are divinely and owning that. And this is the Ten of Pentacles is also your true family. Those beings who actually hold your true frequency, the same heart frequency, are your family, energetically speaking. The Matrix wanted you stuck on bloodlines, and even this idea of ancestry. Your ancestors, your real ancestors, when you're a primordial being, are the rocks, the trees, the animals, everything, well, especially the rocks and the trees, the waters, the air, the elements that make up this place are your true ancestors. And they want you focused on people. And there's nothing wrong with venerating people, deities, and all of that. But when you're a primordial being, your true ancestors are the substance of what this earth is made of. That's the truth. Okay, so a lot of Virgo energy coming out here. Time to bring things into order. Also time to align with that which brings you beauty. And Virgo takes the joy of Leo and helps you to create routines that stabilize that joy so that you can hold that frequency more steadily. So Leo is very much as fire energy. It's like it will light you up. But if you don't have Virgo coming in and telling you that's great that you're really excited about this project, let me give you the logistics, the countdown, let me show you your calendars and tell you how to make this work so that it's not just an idea, a stroke of inspiration, but we can actually bring it and birth it into real time. That's Virgo energy. It's Virgo energy. So this is all about energy management to sustain the passion, to bring forth the dream. And I wrote about that today on my Substack. That's what the Sunrise Salutation was about today. It was about learning how to get over those obstacles, internal obstacles especially, internal blocks that stop us from actualizing the dream. Because the dream is yours. If you've connected with it, it's already yours. How are you going to pull it in? Your heart and your soul are not cruel. Your soul, your heart doesn't dangle carrots before you that you can't have. Your soul is not narcissistic. Because we've been so fine-tuned into the narcissistic agendas of the false matrix, we think that when we dream something, that we can't have it. Like it's just there for us to admire from a distance, that everyone else can have it, but not us. No, if you connected with that dream, if it spoke to your heart connected with it to show you it's already in your energy. Let's learn how to pull it through. Let's learn how to pull it through. Okay, so over an hour, very quick reading, right? Anyway, I could be on here for like 2 or 3 hours. Y'all know that too. I haven't done one of those really long readings because I've been alchemizing so much shit since Scorpio season. But, you know, like, I really, y'all know who come to my group sessions. Those never end after 3 hours because we go deep. You know, I'm not a shallow being. I'm primordial, which means I have depth. And so you're going to take a journey with me. We're going to go deep. And if you like to swim in the shallow end, that's fine. Just don't come into my waters and then complain of drowning. Anyway, I'm sending you guys so much love. If you want to hook up with me tomorrow for the group, the midweek group check-in session, then I will put the information to attend that in the description box and the comment section below. Take advantage of my Substack specials right now, daily guidance, and you know, other tidbits of information to help you alchemize your own energy at this time. You know, I go through all the energies every single day, how I'm seeing them in my own life, how they're playing out collectively, messages I'm having for you in terms to help you to be encouraged in what's going on. That's all available on my Substack. So right now, it's a 33% off monthly subscriptions, and that pricing will stay for the next year, and 33% off annual subscriptions, and that is for good. Okay, so my guides gave me that 33 because we stepping into our mastery. Okay, 19:55 on the clock. 33, it's time to step into your motherfucking mastery. Okay? It's time. It's time. Alrighty, for all information on how to work with me, you can find that also in the description box below. You can check out my website, solarah.info. If you would like to donate to the Solarah Liberation Fund, you can through my Ko-Fi, or you can make a donation through my PayPal. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I am leaving my karmic family cycle for good. I've been ready, and it's time. And if you would like to help me, if you're open to doing that, I don't want to, this isn't about putting anyone else in a deficit to help me. Please let me be so clear about that. If you have the means to do it and it's been put on your heart to do it, I would be grateful for your help. Okay? But please don't struggle to help me. That doesn't help me. It doesn't help me if you're struggling and you're suffering and you need what you're giving me. That doesn't help me, okay? It might help me momentarily, but it doesn't help us collectively to raise one another up. So in that situation, the best thing you can do for me is just hold the love you have, that you want to give in that way, hold that for me in your heart. And I'll feel that too, and I'll appreciate that too, and it will raise me up too, to help me do what I need to do to get those resources also. But this is not what we're doing. We're not doing that anymore. That's the old world. Okay? Yes, what else? SUBSTACK, website, PayPal, Ko-Fi. Listen to that, that rhymed. I think that's it. I think that's it. Yeah. Oh, if you want to check out my other channel, Solarah Rises, that's where I post my ascension reports. I'm still figuring out what to do with my daily alchemy. I've got more ideas. I'm in creative mode right now, so be prepared for some beautiful shifts in my work in August. I'm preparing for that right now. And yes, I guess the last thing to do would be to say goodbye and to send you off with so much love, joy, peace, bliss, beauty, harmony, everything you need right now to fight fire with fire and catapult yourself out of those last remaining densities and strongholds that want to keep you captivated and stuck, whether it's in your own mind, in a physical situation, emotionally, or spiritually, it doesn't matter. The expiration date on all of their ability to do that on any plane, it's done. But it's not done until you decide it's done, and you rise up with fire and you proclaim it to be so with the authenticity of knowing it in your heart. It's over. Okay? So I will see you guys again soon. Until next time, be well.